Hi, welcome to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea. I am going to have a chatty video today in lieu of a vlog I had intended to film that didn't turn out the way I had hoped. So here we are. And so I'm going to sip a cup of tea and talk to you about the silent reading party that I hosted with my friend Marty at her independent bookstore last weekend. So cheers to silent reading. I'm drinking an apple cinnamon caffeine free tea, and it's very autumnal. And last weekend, I hosted a silent reading party in my community. We have been planning this since last year's event. So last October on Halloween night was my first ever to host spooky silent reading party. And I hosted it on my own. I worked with a venue in my community. It's like an iconic old historic hotel. And I hosted the silent reading party there. It wasn't a great turnout. It was just a few of us that were able to participate, but it was really rewarding and it was really fun. I had invited my friend who owns an independent bookstore to join me as a bookseller to have books available in case people showed up and didn't have something to read, they could purchase a book. But she ended up having other plans, so she left town and wasn't able to participate. I did buy some books from her store and wrap them up as like blind book dates for people to purchase at the event or to just, take and donate whatever they could to for the event. So anyway, last year's event was fun. And so when my friend came back from her vacation, she said, "Next year, I want to help you plan this and I want to co host it with you at my bookstore." So here we are. So last weekend, Friday the 13th, we had a spooky silent reading night at her bookstore and it was really fun. So um, the prep. So I had a lot of like decorative things that I had used last year. Um, I had made these like tin luminaries, and so I used those. And I used what I had, and we decorated her place, gave it kind of like that Halloween spooky vibe. I baked cookies and I purchased some cupcakes. So there's a local baker in town that does vegan, gluten free baked goods, and they're amazing. And so I worked with them and we got a couple dozen cupcakes. And I baked some Ube cookies that I will share the recipe up in the description box below. I actually want to read through the recipe because I want to walk you through the process for veganizing it. I have it right here. Okay, so um, the ube cookies that I baked, they were a hit. Everybody loved them, and I love them. They're my favorite cookie, and they're from this book, Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. I love this series. I love this author. Highly recommend. But anyway, my favorite part, I mean, the story's great. Tita Rosie's mystery, her kitchen, like everything's like perfection. But the recipes in the back, I think I've raved enough about them. They're so good. I'm vegan and I'm gluten free, so I have to veganize and gluten and make things appropriate for gluten sensitivity. So I will just run through how I veganized it. So it calls for all-purpose flour. I use gluten-free Bob's Red Mill flour, baking powder, salt, butter, brown sugar, eggs. But instead of eggs, I use tahini. So the conversion to veganize is for one egg, 3 tablespoons tahini. And so that's what I used. I love tahini. I use tahini. It's my secret, now not so secret weapon when I make pancakes. I just love the tahini as an egg substitute. So I use tahini, and I think that they add a little something to the recipe. It calls for ube jam or halaya. You can buy that at a Filipino specialty store. Um, Ube flavoring and powdered sugar. So um, I bake these. You have to prepare the dough the night before because it does require it to be in the fridge overnight or for several hours. So I prepared the dough over like on Thursday night, and then I baked them Friday morning. So Friday morning I baked the cookies. They turned out so good. I picked up the cupcakes, got to the bookstore, we decorated, everybody came. It was a lot of fun. Um, I continued my reading. Well, I read um, Jen Campbell's book, The Sister Who Ate Her Brothers. That was part of my Cozy Ween reading TBR, and I loved it. It was a great collection. The artwork in that book is beautiful. The stories were so great with like the representation of like queerness and disability, and just it was just so good to read these stories. I really enjoyed them. So it was good. I finished the whole thing during the silent reading, and so then by the end, towards the last part of the time we were silent reading, I went back to Shirley Jackson's collection of dark stories. Dark Tales is what the collection is called. It's a collection of short stories called Dark Tales. It's right here. So I picked this up. I This had been my read last year, and so I had read a couple of stories last year, and this is with collections of short stories. I kind of pick them and like read, and like I can be reading a collection of short stories forever for a long time because I won't sit and try to get through it all at once. So I have some way to go with this. So I enjoyed this. I love Shirley Jackson. Um, so you can't go wrong with spooky vibes with her. And it was so cool because the way silent reading party goes is you get there and maybe you like grab your tea, your beverage of choice, and your snacks, and then find your cozy seat and sit down. And I had a chime that I was ringing, so I rang a chime to like initiate the silent reading, and it kind of puts everybody into like the headspace, like, okay, this is now it's time. Felt very much like yoga, like when you go and they do the bells. It just felt like that. Um, and so we read for about an hour and a half, somewhere between an hour and a half to two. I think it was like maybe an hour 30 or hour 40 minutes, and then to get everybody back from their immersion into their silent reading, their spooky stories, I rang the chime again, and that's how everybody kind of came back. And then we had some time at the end to talk about what we were reading and get to talk to other people. And all in all, it was a huge success. Everybody had a really great time. Everybody that showed up had a really great time. Everybody that showed up was asking, when are we doing this again? And my friend Marty has said, like, I want to do this every year. So as long as I am able and we are, able, I think that this is something we're going to try to do every year. So I'm excited. It's so great to have found a community in my local hometown area where I'm connecting with other readers, and I'm doing something that I really, really enjoy, and I have support from a good friend, and it's very nice. It's very, very nice. So it was a success, and I'm happy I did it. I don't know if you've ever been to a silent reading party. Have you ever organized a silent reading party? What are your tips? What are your questions? Leave them down below. I can always make another video to answer any more specific questions about the silent reading party. But all in all, in a nutshell, it was a very rewarding experience. I enjoyed it. Um, Everybody that was there enjoyed it, and I'm happy to do it again. So I wish I had outtakes. I had tried to like vlog and things didn't happen like I wanted them to. I want to be able to share with you about how like great it was, but you can follow me on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram linked down below, and I'll leave my friend's Instagram link down below, and you can follow her in the bookstore and see what they're up to. But yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to continue the conversation and try to continue to encourage you to host a silent reading party or attend a silent reading party in your community. I'll be back in just a little bit to film some other videos that I have in mind. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. And hasta la próxima. Bye.